college was the day after Christmas, and I wanted to see for myself how the rec stores look after Christmas. So, first stop is Burlington, so let's see what we find. So, first off, we see a lot of the usual. Um, Dunhill is a brand that I am interested in, but I just haven't been compelled to purchase any from the line yet. This Continuum, I think I've seen the bottle design. The cap is very unique, if I remember correctly, but for $30 I passed. For the most part, I noticed that the shelves were pretty empty. They usually have several fragrances behind one another. I did find this Tricor Noir for $24. I think, if I remember correctly, last I saw it was 30. I should have picked it up, but I didn't. If it was 100 mil, I don't remember correctly. But like I said, they made it seem they separated the fragrances pretty well to make it seem like the shelves were full, but there was literally just one or two fragrances in the front, when usually it's super packed, super cramped, like maybe like 4 rows, one behind another. I did see some some fragrances I haven't seen before, like that one, Effervescinating, and this Boss fragrance. I've never heard of them before, so I didn't pick them up. There, I made a boo-boo. I dropped the Tommy Girl fragrance. And Tommy Bahama, I've heard, I think this one is St. Bart's. I heard that one's the best of that fragrance line, but yeah, maybe I'll pick it up another day. There was a lot of pink sugar, a lot of the usual, and just, yeah, in general. Next, we went to Ross next door, and the shelves were even more empty than Burlington. And what was there was the stuff you don't really want. Um, but there were some fragrances I've heard. Polo Sport is good. We've got some Azzaro fragrances. Tricor Noir again, the 100 ml for $29.99, and it was $5 cheaper at Burlington. So we also got Grassland, but I have it already, for $20.99. Let me know if any of you guys have tried this fragrance, CK Everyone. I haven't seen it before. Another Grassland. I feel like the Grassland is the most popular Banana Republic fragrance that shows up in rack stores. Let me know which one you guys see the most. Here we have Polo Club Blaze. Someone commented saying that it smells like Spice Bomb and is better than CK1 Shock. I still have yet to pick it up though, but my main mission is Banana Republic fragrances, the ones that I have missing. Cordovan Vintage, these are the older Banana Republic fragrances. That one is really good. I think it's my favorite one from the older line of Banana Republic fragrances. If you see it, you should pick it up. I recommend it. This one I haven't seen before. This is, oh, I'm just noticing it's a scented diffuser. A poor little beat up, Mont Blanc Explorer Ultra Blue. And yeah, just a lot of the same things. More Blaze. This is like a gift set for $11. It's pretty good. If it's better than CK1 Shock, then yeah, that's a better bang for your buck. Now for the women's section, honestly, the men's and the women's, they have everything mixed up. You could find men's and the women's and women's and the men's. And Banana Republic fragrances in either one, which I was hoping for, but yeah, I'm gonna spoil it, but I didn't find any at the store. A lot of the same things. Mm, yeah, for the most part, this is not looking good the day after Christmas. So next we head to TJ Maxx, and it's on the same day, the day after Christmas. And first thing I see, I head to the women's side, and I see some Milestone perfumes. Some Red Cherry by Milestone Perfumes. And I've picked up 2 fragrances in the past from Milestone Perfumes, and I've been pleasantly surprised. But I don't know, this one wasn't it. I feel like it was too medicinal, and I ultimately decided to pass on it. It was also more expensive than the previous Milestone perfumes I found, by a couple of dollars, but still it wasn't worth it to me. Next we head to the locked shelves, and yeah, it looks pretty empty compared to my previous video. I did see this Gucci Guilty. I've purchased some samples from Gucci, and they're pretty good, but a 50 ml for $69 I had to pass. Pretty empty for the most part. Calvin Klein Obsession, I'm not interested. Every Man Jack, never heard of them before. For $15 though, 100 mil. I don't know. Next we head to another Ross, and this Ross in particular had more fragrances than the previous one. this Polo Blue gift set for $65. A 125 ml parfum. It seemed pretty decently priced for me, but I would have had to do more research and see if it's cheaper online. But in general, I wasn't really interested in the fragrance to begin with, so I passed. We have another Polo Club Blaze by Beverly Hills Club for $14.99. Pretty decent price if it does smell better than CK1 Shock. Let's see what else we have. A Apple Watch band for $7.99. Some more Tommy Bahama, $28.99 though. I don't know. Black Walnut Legend by Banana Republic, a dupe of what's it called? Creed Aventus. And then Cordovan Vintage again. I recommend. It's a spicy, kind of smells like, I don't know, it's spicy. It surprised me. What else do we have here? More Tommy Bahama. For that Cordovan Vintage, I'll throw up the fragrance notes or something, because, yeah, I highly recommend it. And we got this big old 200 ml Drakkar Noir. What else do we have? A lot of the usual. Azzaro Chrome. Check the price tags, guys. If you want something, check all the price tags. They sometimes misprice things, or they reduce. They put red tags on things. That's how I found my Burberry Touch for my 50 ml for $9.99. Let's see what else we have. Okay, this Juliet Has a Gun. Okay, you see how that's a 50 ml for $49.99. Okay, remember that. So those are better priced online because you can get the 100 ml for probably $10 more online on Joma Shop or other places. That line in particular is pretty good for the price, but yeah, that 50 ml, yeah, it's better just to shop online. But yeah, I remember the price, 50 ml for $50. I mean, it seems decent, but online it's better. For 100 ml for $60, that's way better. And then the 50 mls are even cheaper. So yeah, I was just looking at watch bands. But back to the fragrances. Here I'm just rummaging through all this makeup stuff. More Calvin Klein Obsessions, Tommy Hilfigers, just a lot of that. Usually the Banana Republic fragrances are at the bottom shelves. Since they're kind of tall, they need a bigger shelf, or like a taller shelf to fit in. That's one thing I noticed. So if if you do go fragrance hunting for these, I recommend you be very thorough, especially in the bottom shelves. Okay, so this footage is from the same Ross, and remember how I told you to keep in mind that price of that Juliet Has a Gun, that 50 mil? Well, this is a 100 mil, and it's the same price, albeit a different fragrance than Not a Perfume. This is actually the most popular one by them, and it's the same price as the previous one that we saw, which was half the size. So yeah, it's important to check those price tags. Okay, here at another shelf we have Vintage Green. I love that fragrance. I highly recommend it. If you do see it, pick it up for $20. It's amazing. More Cordovan Vintage. I recommend you pick that one up as well. So here at another shelf I see this Mercedes-Benz fragrance. For $40 though, I passed. I really enjoy their Mercedes-Benz Club line though. A Osaro Chrome Eau de Parfum for $50. A couple of Grasslands by Banana Republic. Those are definitely popping up at rec stores even after Christmas. And our last stop of this day after Christmas, was a Marshall's, and they had nothing where they usually have the fragrances. Nothing. I think there were just like socks in its place. So I head to the checkout line where they sometimes have more fragrances. Thankfully there was no line, and I see a Milestone perfume for $14.99 called Ombre Sun. I picked up a fragrance from this house in a previous video that I really enjoyed. I was really impressed by it, and I gave the atomizer a quick sniff, and I really enjoyed it. Let's see what else we had here. Dunhill Driven, that was recommended to me by Christopher Cologne. Shout out Christopher Cologne. He said it smelled like Missoni Wave. The box was open though, and I didn't want to mess with it and have them think I opened it, so I just left it alone. Some spice bombs. I think they're a little too expensive though. Another Milestone perfume, Tuscany Leather. This one was $16.99 though. Let's see what else we have. I saw another Ombre Sun, again $14.99, and I just wanted to give it. And then a Black Incenso from the same line, a whole bunch of Ombre Suns, Desert Oud, and then some Oud Woodies, another Black Incenso. Then here I was thinking like, wait, which one did I buy? But the one I had bought was it was called Velvet something. So I know I don't have any of these. Another Oud Woody, I gave it a sniff. I rather enjoyed it. But in my head I was thinking I already have a lot of Oud Wood clones. Well, I have 2 Oud Wood clones. But I love that DNA. I love woody aside for the moment. See what else we have. John Barbados gift set for $40. I don't know, it seemed pretty light. I don't think there was a full bottle in there. And a couple of, I've already seen this H2480T a couple of times, so that's all we had. Okay, so unfortunately, we did not find any of the Banana Republic icon fragrances that we were missing to complete the collection. But I'm glad that we did take that final stop to Marshall's because I did pick up not one, but neither two, nor three, but four of the milestone perfumes that we saw in our last stop. Now, the ones from the Velvet collection I did pick up for $14.99 each, but forgetful me forgot that I have yet to record the video, so I removed the price tag off of this one. And for my other two, these, again, I removed the tags, and these were $16.99. And if you haven't guessed already, these are Tom Ford clones. So this is a clone of Oud Wood, and this is a clone of Tuscan Leather. Both very popular Tom Ford fragrances. And looking back at the footage, this one, the Desert Oud, was the one that I picked up in my previous video. So it turns out these are clones of Dolce & Gabbana's. They have a velvet line as well. And I don't know how Milestone Perfumes does it, but like all of these are like almost blatant like copies. Like even the bottles look almost exactly the same. But yeah, this one was also in my it popped up in my last stop, but I had to double check. I looked at I still had footage on my phone, and I confirmed that that was the one that I had picked up, so I didn't pick it up again. But anyway, let's get to spraying these. And just to be fully transparent, I'm recording this footage almost a month after I picked these up, so I've already smelled these fragrances. And one thing I have not done is look up the fragrance notes of the fragrance fragrances that these are trying to imitate. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and see if we can find any similarities. I have not smelled the originals. Of the Dolce & Gabbanas, the only original that I smelled and I have a sample of is Oud Wood. But let's start by spraying Ombre Sun. And one thing I will note or make a comment on is the atomizers on these Milestone perfumes. This is ridiculous for $15. Like how is this sprayer so good? I don't understand. Like just a sprayer alone should be like $5 to make or something. I don't know, but it's just so satisfying to spray these Milestone perfumes. And I picked all of these up because I did enjoy how they smelled. I didn't mention in the previous footage, but there were so many of these that I was like making sure I got the one that had the most juice. I was comparing all of them. I was like putting them one up against the other, seeing which one had more juice, going with that one. And then I started nitpicking. I was like getting the caps off of, like, making sure I got the like the newest cap, the one that was like the least damaged, because I don't know, sometimes they do mistreat. They beat up these bottles there while people wait in line. They just toss them around. So I was glad that there were several of the same fragrance, so I could get the one that looked the nicest. But let's go ahead and look at the fragrance notes of the original Dolce & Gabbana. So even the name, Velvet Amber Sun, is just almost a straight up copy. The main accords are sweet, woody, oriental, smoky, and resinous. The top notes are bergamot, cinnamon, coriander, and pepper. Heart notes include vanilla, ylang ylang, and smoky notes. And the base notes include frankincense, patchouli, labdanum, amber, Australian sandalwood, and oud. Now, I do get cinnamon. I do get some pepper. I'm not getting much of bergamot off the top. And coriander is a note that I'm not really familiar with, so I won't comment on that. I am getting vanilla and smoky notes. Ylang ylang. I don't really smell it that much. And then honestly, on the base, I only smell amber and sandalwood. I don't really get any of the other notes from the original. With that being said, for $14.99, this is a steal. I really enjoy it, and to me, it's unisex. I could see how it could be leaning a little bit feminine, but I think I would be rocking this. I did rock it a couple of times, a couple of days. Now, for Black Incenso, let's spray the other wrist. Let's do an atomizer test. Just unbelievable. Honestly, these are the best atomizers in my entire collection. And they're on the cheapest bottles that I've bought. This one I definitely pick up an incensey note. It smells a little like for my religious people out there, it smells a little bit like church. I used to go to church a lot as a kid, and it smells like the incense that they burn there. Now I'm assuming that this black incenso is a dupe of velvet incenso, which is smoky, resinous, woody, spicy, and oriental. The original fragrance has top notes of black pepper, elemi resin, and African frankincense. Heart notes include frankincense resin and Spanish cistus. And base notes include benzoin, patchouli, and American cedar. Now this honestly I pick up just straight up incense and vanilla. It feels like it would be a linear fragrance, but linear is not always bad. I do like this fragrance, this cologne, enough to have purchased it, but I don't like it as much as Ombre Sun. I see myself wearing Ombre Sun more, but I have worn Black Incense already a couple of times as well. If anything, I'll keep spraying it just to use the atomizer because Now, this next one I was pretty hesitant on purchasing. And the only reason was that I already have Woody Oud by Maison Alhambra, which is the subsidiary, is that how you say it? A sub brand of Lattafa. And then I also have the Zafiro crafted oud, which is also owned by Lattafa. And both of those are really good dupes of oud wood that honestly last longer than the original. But I thought it'd be fun to buy this and maybe one day do a full comparison of all my oud wood clones. This one, let's spray it on the back of the hand. It's ridiculous how good those atomizers are. Now, one thing that I will note is that this clone is definitely sweeter than the other two that I have. And the oud is dialed down as well compared to the other two. The fruitiness on this, or like the sweetness, comes off a little fruity, something like a pear. But it is rather pleasant. It is not harsh by any means. None of these fragrances are harsh, surprisingly. I feel like clones these days are getting really good at not being harsh in the opening like they used to be. But yeah, I would say that this one is the furthest from imitating or nailing the DNA of oud wood compared to my other two clones. But that's not to say that this is a bad fragrance, because it's not, especially for the price of $16.99. And then finally we have Tuscany leather. I have one clone of Tuscan leather already by Maison Alhambra. But let's see how this one compares. Like, how slow can I spray this and it'll still go? Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, not to talk down on some of my other fragrances, but like, I have this 1 million bottle that if you try to spray it too slow, it'll just shoot like, it's like a water gun. But these atomizers, yeah, I could go on and on about that. Let's smell the fragrance. Again, not harsh. I was expecting like an alcohol blast from all of these, to be honest. But I did not get that from any of them. Honestly, this is less harsh than my other Tuscan leather clone. It's fruitier though. Not fruitier, but sweeter. The leather. I feel like Milestone goes the safer route. Like this is less oody, more sweet. Same with this. Less leather, more sweet. But the DNA is kind of still there. Overall, for the price, just can't beat it. Can't beat these fragrance clones. Like even if the opening was harsh, I wouldn't mind. Like for the price, I would not mind at all. I've learned to um, like for my older clones, the ones that were released a couple of years back that do have a harsh opening. I've learned to spray them and just like push through the opening, like, and then get to the dry down where it starts smelling really good quality. These ones, they get there right away. Like you don't need to wait for the dry down for them to smell like they're good quality, in my opinion. Which is really surprising to me because I have clones that are almost 3 times the price that I paid for each one of these that has a harsh opening, and then these ones don't. So I give a round of applause to Milestone Perfumes because I don't know how they're doing it. For their fragrance to smell good quality, the atomizers to be just ridiculously like so good, like the best atomizers that I have in my collection. And then for all of that to be less than $20 is just insane. But I guess I'll be on the lookout for these, for more of these fragrances as well from Milestone Perfumes. So, top of my list, the remaining Banana Republic icon fragrances. And then next, number 2 is just getting my nose on any Milestone Perfumes that I come across. That'll be like a side mission. But anyway, that does it for episode 3 of my fragrance hunting journey. I'm hoping to get more footage out, maybe before Valentine's Day. Maybe they'll do a restock. After I recorded the footage for this episode, I kind of told myself to take a couple of weeks off because, yeah, the rec stores were pretty dead. So maybe in a couple of weeks or starting February, I'll pay the rec stores another visit and see if they've restocked, and maybe I can find another Banana Republic icon fragrance that I'm missing. Thank you for watching. To all my subscribers, thank you so much. To my new viewers, new subscribers, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. And I